Hi, welcome to the Israel First television program with myself, Martin Blackham, and with my wife, Nathalie Blackham. Great to have you with us. We welcome you wherever you're watching in the world with a program that looks at Israel. We look at the news, and we have features from Israel and interviews from Israel. And today we have a special Israel First update, and we're going to be doing a newspaper review. We're going to be looking at tourists visiting Israel. So a lot of information for you now. The Jerusalem Post, I've got it here right next to me, has the title Among Friends, and we've got a picture of Benjamin Netanyahu and members of the Christian media in Jerusalem assembling with him.
And we're included in it.
Yes, Nathalie and I are on that picture, and it says Among Friends. The Jerusalem Post features the picture of Netanyahu together with the Christian media, and he delivered a speech, Nathalie, at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Representatives from 70 Christian media organizations came to Israel for the first ever Christian Media Summit in Jerusalem.
Which is very interesting, is like about 1 billion people who are touched by the Christian media, which speaking about Israel. So the Knesset and Netanyahu knows that is very important.
And it's the first time this has ever happened, and we were there representing you at the Christian Media Summit, representing Angel Television, and also representing the Israel First television program with all the Christian media organizations. We thought that the 50th anniversary of the reunification of Jerusalem would be a good opportunity to hold such a conference, said Nitzan Chen, director of the government press office. We hope that these journalists will become good ambassadors for Israel. And if this conference succeeds, the idea is to hold one every year or two, and I think that's going to be happening. And a very important conference.
And the first one.
And on the 50th, and not only that, but for the 50th anniversary of the reunification of Jerusalem. And very good to meet up with colleagues who are doing the same sort of work, people who are bringing you news and bringing you information from Israel. So that was very good as well. And at the conference, we also were privileged to hear Netanyahu speak, and we're going to just have a quick look at what he had to say.
I want to welcome you all to Jerusalem, the eternal united capital of the Jewish people. You know, you are joining us as we celebrate 50 years since the holy city was liberated and united, 50 years of religious freedom for all. You know that because you walk around, you go to the holy sites, you go to the churches, others go to the mosques, and you know this is a free city. I want you also to join us in looking forward to the day when the embassies of all your countries move to Jerusalem. Israel has no better friends, I mean that, no better friends in the world than the Christian communities around the world. And Israel is the one country in a vast region where Christians not only survive, they thrive.
So we were privileged to be there, Nathalie, and to hear what he had to say. And a very important conference. And we'll be maybe in the weeks to come we'll be talking more about the results of the conference, because so many organized Christian media organizations were able to meet together with the Israeli government and discuss different topics. Now, as we come in, this is very exciting, as we come in the studio today, it is exactly 100 years since the Balfour Declaration. It was actually a letter, but became known as the Declaration. And we've got the Jerusalem Post magazine. It says, Lord Balfour's letters 100 years on. A very significant declaration in the history of the State of Israel and in the history of this nation.
Which is interesting again, because it was Christians from England who were pushed, I would say, really with the Holy Spirit to help Israel to have for the Jewish people to have a land again.
And what's amazing and what you might not know is the letter was sent by the British Foreign Secretary Lord Balfour, stating that the British government viewed with favour the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in the area known as today as Israel, and use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this objective. Now, British Prime Minister David Lloyd George and Lord Balfour were part of the generation of people that was looking forward to the redemption, and Lord Roderick Balfour, the great-grandson of Arthur Balfour's brother Gerald, recently said that's the Prime Minister Lloyd George, together with Lord Balfour, were brought up singing the songs of David and reading the Old Testament. It was completely natural that Christians should support the return of the Jews to the Holy Land. And so these were Christians from the United Kingdom who weren't just praying for the Jewish people to return to the land of England, but taking action. And so the Balfour Declaration, Lord Balfour was a believer, and he wrote this because he'd read the Bible and realized that it was important and part of prophecy that the Jewish people would return to the land of Israel. Zionist leader Chaim Weizmann, who was living in Britain at the time, wrote to his wife. He was later to become the first president of Israel. He wrote that events were unfolding, and he put, "Messianic times have really come." 4.5 years after the Balfour Declaration, Nathalie, was issued in 1922, the League of Nations, which is now the United Nations, gave a mandate to Great Britain to put the Balfour Declaration into effect. So not only was the Balfour Declaration a letter, because there've been many documents, many letters aspiring for the Jewish people to return to the land of Israel, but the Balfour letter, the Balfour Declaration by the British government, put into effect, started the ball rolling for action to be taken. And what is amazing is that it was written, and again you might not know this, but it was written during the war, the First World War, and it was a war cabinet that came together. And at the same time, just before the Balfour Declaration letter, we had the Battle of Beersheba, where the Australians and New Zealanders, for those watching in Australia and New Zealand, you may be familiar with the Battle of Beersheba, which recently was commemorated by the Australian Prime Minister and the governor a governor from New Zealand coming over to Israel to commemorate it. Was where the real battle against the Turkish Muslim occupation of the Holy Land of Israel was finished, and it led to the British Army being able to move into Jerusalem. So historic events happening in our time. And Nathalie, we know that lots of people like to come to visit Israel, but you've got a news story about something very important that's happened.
And when you see all the things happening, I want to read a passage, because sometimes we read the Bible like taking it for ourselves, but it was first of all written for the Jewish people and the Jewish nation. And so when you see in Isaiah 60, you can see it's written, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rise upon you." And there is a lot, the nations will come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. And you read all this passage, it's just amazing. And it's what's happening right now in front of our eyes. Israel is rising out of the dust, and the people are coming back. And not only the Jewish people coming back, but there is a lot of visitors. And this week in November 2017, suddenly they hit 3 million tourists, which was the very first time since the state of Israel was born. So it's very exciting. And we are going to show you a clip which is very exciting, and you will be very surprised by that. And we'll carry on speaking about the story after. Watch that.
This is called David's Citadel.
Yeah.
We were here 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago.
And now you're here, exactly.
We are here.
Yeah.
This is the important.
Receiving the 3 million tourists.
Receiving us, right?
Yeah, you hit the
With
jackpot.
us.
Yeah, it's like that.
So if you don't mind, we'll go upstairs. Let's take a look.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Closed it.
so you have a special guide, huh?
The original Jerusalem of King David is over there. You cannot see it. This is the Temple Mount. The Jewish holiest site is the Western Wall, which is, you cannot see it. It's below here, but I recommend that you go there.
We will go for sure. We have to see it.
You have to taste Jerusalem. This is the most important part. This is
What do you
called
have there?
za'atar.
Wow.
I like
have a
za'atar.
secret.
Știi ce
It's a
e?
spice.
We have it. E cimbru.
Chimbru.
In my country, it's called cimbru.
Chimbu.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's zatar, right?
This is za'atar chimbu. Yep.
So was that not amazing? Netanyahu was a tour guide for these people. The name of the lady, she's Romanian, and her name is Ioana Isaac, and from Romania. And she was coming with her partner, and suddenly she realized that when she arrived in Ben Gurion, there was the Minister of Tourism who was there to greet her. And they had like upgraded their way of staying in a hotel, and they are going helicopter tour, and a lot of things. They really wanted to shower love and say thank you to all the tourists who are coming. It's boosting also the tourism here. Is boosting the people who are coming and work in the hotel industry. All the tourist industries is booming in Israel because of all the people coming. So this is very exciting, and please, come. You will, if you have the ability to come in Israel, it's so wonderful. You will never be the same. You can touch where Jesus has been. You can touch the history of Israel. And as we were saying, like she is rising. Israel was, the land of Israel was dead and asleep, we'll say in a slumber, for 2,000 years. And now there is a rise, and we can see it, and the world can see it more and more. So I think it's just wonderful to see that.
And you can become involved in this, that there's lots of ways you can help us. We have a Facebook. You can like us on Facebook. That's one way of helping us. There's our YouTube. You can also like that and sign up and subscribe to the YouTube. And also financially, the work here depends on your support. You can write into us, and we can send you a direct debit form. We can get that off to you. It's a very simple form to fill in, and you sign up with all your information, and we can get that off to your bank, and you can support us by direct debit. You can also support us by PayPal. All the details on the website. Go to the donation button, click on the donation information button, and you've got all the information there. If you have any difficulty at all,
Be in contact with us.
right, if you have any difficulty at all donating, then please do contact us, and we will help you as much as we're able. And it's because of your support that we're able to do this program today. And we're also looking to raise money for new equipment. We want to be able to have we want to have another guest. We want to have the facility to have more than one guest at a time. That we'll be able to have 2 guests. So to do that, we do need to raise money for equipment. And if you'd like to be involved with that, you'd like to make a special donation for equipment, then please do contact us. We're looking to raise...
Now, if it's okay, I want to tell you, yesterday I saw something on Facebook. We love to be in contact with you on Facebook, because it's like a way of bringing the information easily to each other, and we can really team together. And yesterday, a lady, Evelyn, said, I have a Jewish friend who introduced us to Nathalie and Martin, who have shared lots of news about Israel and taught us their culture and history. I really like their program. So fulfilling, feeling I'm actually in the land of Israel and God is there. And this is exactly the goal of our program, that you can feel that you have you can come with us in Israel. We can show you what's happening. There is so many exciting things that are happening now in the land, and we will carry on having some new guests also who are coming, who are living in the land, who are coming to help. There is a lot of now Christians who are helping, which was interesting also. I was reading an article this week that there is less people giving to big organizations, but people like to give directly to Israel, to like Leket,
Right.
people who are helping people who can't always eat properly, and they do sandwiches and they do different things. And when we do our program is what we want. We want you to be involved with Israel. You can write to the people when we have a program with them. You can directly speak with them and be in contact directly with them. The Israelis love to see this contact, and sometimes there is still a lot of things we are not loved by the world. But I can tell you, they can start to see that there is many Christians who love them, who are getting involved, who are really putting themselves and putting their feet in the land to help and to do practical things. And it's just wonderful to see this amazing new wave. And we want also to do some program with Ayovel, which is like Tommy Walker. He's done amazing work also with Christians who are helping to harvest the vineyard, and we'll do a special story about them. We can see that the land here, and again it's written in Isaiah 60, that the foreigners will come and help, and it's exactly what's happening.
And it's such an important way our viewers can help with the finances, because it's a way that you say, well, I want to be involved. I realise that something's happening with Israel. I'm very attracted to Israel, and I'm really enjoying your program. And you know that at the moment we're looking to raise about $5,000 for running costs per month, and equipment's about $2,000, $3,000. And it's because, I could say that in pounds, but I think that's okay. It's because of people who are standing with us that we're able
Sure.
to do this. And all the money that you are giving goes into the production. We use it for the needs that we have, and you are practically being involved in the Israel First television program. And as I said before, there's a lot of information, that you can go to the website. If you can't get on, you can also write to us. The information's on the screen, how you can write to us, our full postal address. Please write to us and we will send you the information in the post. Well, there's a lot of things happening in Israel at the moment, and one of the stories that I recently saw in the Jerusalem Post, there's a picture here, and you can see 4 athletes on the podium in Abu Dhabi. This is a judo competition. Now the story here isn't so good in the sense that Israel sent a athlete to be in the competition, and unfortunately there was a problem with having an Israeli flag or display on his actual judo costume. And the Jerusalem Post says, Israeli flag and anthem absent despite judo gold in Abu Dhabi. Israel won the gold, but they weren't able to either play the national anthem, which everybody else could, or have their flag. Israeli athlete Tal Flickett scaled the top of the podium and received a judo gold medal, but the Israeli anthem was not played and the Israeli flag was not raised in the Arab Muslim state of Abu Dhabi.
But he was singing it himself, I heard.
Yes,
Which
it's
is
true.
amazing.
He was able to, whether it was picked up on a microphone or not, I'm not sure, but he was able to sing Hatikva on the top of the platform, even though the tradition is that it's played. And even the International Judo Federation President Marius Visa wrote to the organisers demanding that the Israeli delegation be treated absolutely equally in all respects. So Abu Dhabi was in breach not only of normal etiquette in an athletic competition, in a sporting competition, but they were in direct breach of a letter from the International Judo Federation. So, there's really a battle. Whilst there's some significant progress, and there was the as we said at the beginning of the program, there was the conference, International Christian Media Summit. There is a lot of work to be done to enable Israel to be able to function normally.
And we are part of that. We are the one, we have tools to be able to say things. And it's because of that we say, please partner with us, because we can change things for Israel. We can be advocates, all of us. We have our responsibility to do that.
And everybody can be involved. You can be involved today as you're watching the Israel First television program. You say, well, I want to take action. I want to do something to stand with Israel. There's plenty of opportunity to write to your member of parliament, to the Congress or Senate in the United States or whoever, and to put the case of Israel across. And one of the area is really kind of under attack at the moment. We've got the situation with Hamas in the south with the tunnels, and we've also got the problem with Hezbollah in the north. And this is, again, I've just got this out of the Jerusalem Post. We love to feature the Jerusalem Post on the program, and it's got air power diplomacy in Syria. Air power diplomacy in Syria. And the story is here that south of Homs, on the road to Damascus, there's a small town called Hassia. Beyond the village is a large industrial zone that occupies several square kilometers. On the other side of the road are a series of cluster buildings laid out behind checkpoints and unmistakably government buildings and straight roads with grey warehouses. According to Arab news media, it's here that witnesses claim an Israeli airstrike took place recently. This is inside Syria. The full details of what happened are clouded in secrecy, like many other alleged and acknowledged Israeli airstrikes in Syria. Air Force Commander Amir Escher said Israel had carried out at least 100 strikes in the last 5 years, attempting to intercept weapons transfers to Hezbollah, which is a terrorist group, via Syria. After the strike, featured in the Jerusalem Post, the Israeli Intelligence and Transport Minister Israel Katz told Army Radio Israel has previously operated and will continue to operate to prevent weapons smuggling. So Israel is really having to take action where in the north of Israel, where many of you may not be aware, there's been the civil war in Syria, but now because of the vacuum, basically the Islamic State has been defeated in a lot of the area of Syria, and Hezbollah and Iran is filling up the vacuum.
And Israel put all their iron domes in the north right now because they want to protect their population, which is important too.
And they've got in Syria, they've not just got Hezbollah, which is basically an army, but they've got weapons, they've got missiles, and they've got anti-aircraft missiles, and they've got normal missiles and rockets which have been fired at Israel in the past. So this is something really to be aware about, the issue with the north of Israel. Well, it's been great to be with you. We hope that you've enjoyed the program. Please do contact us. We do love to hear from you. We are looking particularly for more people to partner with us. If you'd like to partner with us, then please do contact us at our email address, info@israelfirst.org. And also, please write to us, and we will be in contact with you. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, wonderful to be with you today. We are looking at a very special name today, which is the name Amen, and I'm sure that you know it. And that name means, may this prayer come true. And it means that God grant our heart's desire. And the name in Hebrew, when you say I believe, is Ani Ma'amin. And you can see in that name, Ani Ma'amin, that the name Amen is there. So in Hebrew, the root Amen, so is Aleph, Mem and Nun. It means confirm and support. So we can look, and we've told already that in Hebrew you have a lot of roots, words who are made with the 3 letters. And so we're going to look at certain letters who are from this root, and it's just amazing, and they are all related with each other. So like, for example, you have Omen or Omenet, and Omen means a foster father, and Omenet a foster mother. He's the one who is supporting the child, and again is in that you have the three letters. Something else also, you have the concept of being faithful, like Ne'eman, and we speak about God, El Ne'eman, the God of faithfulness. There is also another name that we look very often, which is faith, Emunah, and again you can see the same root name in that. Now, another one who is very interesting also is art. Do you know that art is also connected with faithfulness, with support, with Amen? And the name of art is Omanut. And like also for artists, so artist will be Aman. Again, the same root letters there. There is also another name that we spoke already about is Emet, which means truth. Now the nun has been taken out, but Emet again is with the same root of Amen. So we go back to a few words that we look today. Amen, which is may our prayer be answered. We look at Omanut, which means art. We look at I believe, Ani Ma'amin, which is a beautiful name. And again, our faith is Emunah. Faith is Emunah. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Israel First television program. Please do email us at info@israelfirst.org. Visit the website www.israelfirst.org, and remember, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.